Right, greetings and welcome people. Bit of a bonus vlog here. Well, from my point of view anyway, I didn't realise I was going to have a chance to get out on the bike today. But lo and behold, here we are. So it's a bit of a bonus vlog because I did manage to get out on the bike a couple of days ago and I was going to make a vlog. In fact, I was making a vlog. The only problem was that in my infinite wisdom I'd forgotten to start the recording the voice side of things, which you probably think is no loss, but not much of a vlog without some commentary. But there we go. So I thought I'd have a little chat today, not about what I was talking about on the lost vlog. I'll have another go at doing that because it was a bit of a mess in the end, aren't they all? But I thought I'd do a vlog this time, just a short vlog on what I suppose could form part of a series called Bikers Behaving Badly. And I suppose if I put that in the title of the video on YouTube, that'll attract quite a few views because people do seem to like that sort of thing. They like to see trouble and accidents and anger and things. It's a strange world we live in. But what I'm particularly talking about today, or this time, is language, particularly bad language. Oh, excuse me. And I'm pretty sure people will be saying, well, that's not just bikers or motovloggers. No, you're right, it's not. There are plenty of videos on YouTube of people using the most utterly disgusting language. And I'm no stranger to bad language. I know bad language. I know the swear words. But I've always held the view that swear words, curse words, are to serve a purpose. I think I've touched on this before as a passing comment in another vlog I did, but in my view, swearing or bad language is a tool, it's a release. You use bad language when you're in the extremes of emotion, anger, fear, pain. I know pain's a physical sensation, but emotional pain, if you like, physical pain. That type of thing. You use bad language, the F word, etc., to express extremes of emotion. But what we're seeing, and it's not just on YouTube videos, I've seen it and heard it in other walks of life as well. Oh, excuse me. As I mentioned before, the hay fever seems to be kicking in. It's people using this bad language, say the F word, the C word, basically the most awful language you can imagine, and they're using it in ordinary, everyday conversation. And I'm just baffled by this. I mean, I have heard the theory that people use bad language in conversation when they haven't got the correct non-obscenity words to express what they're thinking or feeling. So in a sense it could be a case of it demonstrates a shortfall in literacy. They cannot describe how they feel or get the opinion or viewpoint across that they want to get across in words that they think will satisfactorily fulfill that requirement, so they use lots of swear words. But the thing is, most of the people you hear using this do so in a casual manner. They're not angry, they're not upset, they're not in fear, they haven't just smashed their hand with a hammer or something like that. They just pepper their normal, everyday conversation with obscenities. And I just wonder why. I mean, you see it an awful lot on... Oh, well done, dear. Didn't even look. Good job I wasn't going any faster. You see it on so-called comedy shows, especially after the watershed. And I don't know whether it's because these comedians think that by littering their act with foul-mouthed obscenities, it'll make it even funnier. Well, in my view, it doesn't. Like I say, I'm no stranger to bad language. I'm no vapourish Victorian maiden aunt. I'm not going to swoon away at the utterance of so much of a damn or a blast. Like I say, I know the swear words that I'm talking of. I have used them on occasion, but it's been when the situation called for it. Like I say, I do know them, I can use them, but in the right circumstances. And I suppose it's principally as being brought home more on watching motovloggers. There have actually been many motovloggers where the content has actually been otherwise reasonably enjoyable, but there was one I was watching, I can't remember who it was now, an American motovlogger. Within the first 20-30 seconds he dropped the F-bomb at least 3 times, and I'm sort of thinking no, because it completely breaks up the flow of the piece, if you like. You end up thinking more about how many times the guy's swearing rather than listening to what he's saying or enjoying what he's doing. It's obviously, this is my own personal point of view. I mean, you might be the sort of person that goes, well, so what? I use that effing sort of language all the time. Well, why? And please don't just come back with, well, that's because that's how I am. That's not a reason. That's not a justification. Why do you need to employ the worst type of obscenities in your speech? Why can't you just leave them out and just say what you want to say without putting those sort of things in? Now, a lot of these other moto bloggers and other bloggers, there are other bloggers, non-moto bloggers that I've noticed use bad language as well, and I just can't watch them. Like I say, it's not because I start swooning away or getting all offended, it's just I just think that's completely unnecessary, absolutely unwarranted use of language that does have a purpose to serve, just not the way they're using it, employing it, which is basically gratuitously and without any relevance to what they're saying or the ideas they're trying to get across. Now, obviously, to say, you might be thinking it doesn't bother you. Well, fine, but just think to yourself, well, if it doesn't bother you, wouldn't it be better if it was left out so that we could all enjoy the content or the jokes or the programs without this constant stream of profanity? Oh, excuse me. So a lot of the certainly at least one of the motovloggers is a UK motovlogger, and other than the profanities, the bad language, his content demonstrates that he is actually very eloquent and doesn't have any problem putting a sentence together, which is probably better than I'm doing right at this minute, but that's because I'm on unfamiliar roads and thinking, am I going the right way? So he has absolutely no need to use that type of language. He's obviously very capable of explaining himself just using the normal vocabulary. I don't know whether it's because some motovloggers or some people think that they have to use this sort of language to appear cool. I mean, I could sort of come back on the vlog I put up, not the last one, the one before, about loud pipes. They think it's part of an image. So I'm not saying that is the case. I'm just saying, is it possibly that is what it is? If it is, then what type of image is it you're trying to get across? Are you trying to get across the image that you're a biker, you're a badass biker, you use bad language, you're hard, you're tough, etc.? Well, why do you need to do that? I know I said I was going to go out for a quick ride, but I didn't think it was going to be this quick. I'm going to extend it a little bit by taking a detour back out along one of my normal roads. I did think this might be a bit of a short loop, so we'll get back onto one of my normal roads. Ooh, that crap in the road, probably. And it's not all male motovloggers or male contributors either. I quite often watch YouTube content from two UK female vloggers, one of whom is still resident in the UK and the other one is now resident in Germany. And the UK resident female motovlogger, fine, absolutely no problem. You never hear so much as a damn or heck from her. But the other one, again, totally unnecessary use of profanities. And why? Why would you need to do that? I think I've taken the wrong turn somewhere. I've got absolutely no idea where I am. I suppose I could extend the discussion topic on to not just bad language but bad manners as well. Watching or listening to certainly some of the motovloggers, they seem to make a point of exaggeratedly belching on their commentary every now and again. Now I know on occasion I have been, I have occasionally burped, but when I do, I will usually say, if I ever forget to, please let me know. I usually say excuse me or pardon me or whatever, as appropriate, because that's polite, that's manners. I don't see how maybe they think it's funny by these loud belches, and I suppose they're not burps, they are belches. It's not amusing, guys. If you're complaining about how YouTube is almost censoring content at the moment, demonetizing, reducing ad coverage, not promoting, why would you put stuff in your videos that somebody could find offensive, even if mildly? I'm furthest from being any sort of politically correct in my thinking, but just basic manners go a long way in my view. You're probably thinking, oh, you sound like a right boring old fart. Well, I don't know. If that's the case, I'd rather be a boring old fart than an uncouth boor. That's B-O-O-R, somebody who's rough and impolite. So maybe if you want to just drop a comment in saying something like, oh, bad language doesn't bother me, I just ignore it. I try to ignore it, but it gets to the point where you just can't ignore it any further. And so when you're hit with a volley of F-bombs within the first 30 seconds of watching a YouTube video, no, sorry, that is not acceptable. And so, as I say, especially when you're looking at the context just doesn't warrant it. There is no trouble, there's no aggravation, there is no stress, it's just normal conversation. And I know I'm repeating myself several times, so I do apologise for that. I should probably try and eliminate some of the repeats in editing. And that's of course not to say that I think most motovloggers are in that group. I would say that most motovloggers certainly most of the ones I subscribe to and follow, they most certainly do not fall within that category. But then that's a simple choice I make, I suppose, is I watch the ones I enjoy and I don't watch the ones I don't. But the problem is, I think that a lot of the time we all tend to suffer from the impression that type of thing creates on people who watch these videos. If anybody watching them is already somewhat negative of motorcyclists, they're watching them because they want to try and put critical comments and have a go at motorcyclists. Watching that type of thing is feeding their opinion, just as watching other sorts of things that some motovloggers do, which will probably be in another video, another vlog. It's another perfect biking day. Sunny, bright and dry, not too warm. Lovely. So as all this scenery is old hat to you, seen it all before several times. Oh, excuse me. Please beg your pardon. I think I will end it there. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for listening to this moaning bugger. If you're listening this far, well done if you are. So I'll say cheerio for now. I don't know when I'll get a chance to get out on the bike again, as I've got approximately 6 weeks of part-time work coming up. So obviously the work is part-time, but I'll only be able to make other additional vlogs if the weather is appropriate when I'm not working. So would be when good weather and me not working coincide, and other things if I don't have other things to do as well. So had a little spell of getting out on the bike several times. May not be able to do it so much from now on, so thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Cheerio for now.